Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Haunted Gaming. And I was just about to sit down and eat my dinner when I decided that I'd give you what I promised you. Sonic.exe. Now I'm going to start off by saying I'm a huge Sonic the Hedgehog fan. I even have a hat of Sonic. I don't have the fluffy ears one though, I wish I had that one. I love the newer games, but I fell in love with the game, with the classics. I'm glad. Never played a glitchy one, so. And this one is available on the internet somewhere. I don't know. Look it up. Now I'm gonna just read out the story to you. Started on a nice summer afternoon. He was playing Sonic Unleashed. He liked how you could get to explore the towns in it, until he noticed out of his peripheral vision that the mailman had arrived and put something in the mailbox as usual and left. He paused the game to go see what he got in the mail. The only thing in the mailbox was a CD case for computers and a note. He took it inside. He looked at the note first and realized it was from his dear friend Kyle. Let's just call him that. Who he hadn't heard from in 2 weeks. He knew that because he recognized his handwriting. Though what was weird is how it looked. It looked badly written and scratchy. It's somewhat difficult to read too. As if Kyle was having a hard time writing it down. He did it in a hurry. This is what he wrote. Tom, I can't take it anymore. I had to get rid of this thing somehow before it was too late. And I was hoping you'd do it for me. I can't do it. He's after me. And if you don't destroy this CD, he'll come after you too. He's too fast for me. Please, Tom, destroy the godforsaken disc before he comes after you too. It's too late for me. Destroy the disc and you'll destroy him. But do it quick, otherwise he'll get you. Don't even play the game. It's what he wants. Just destroy it. Please, Kyle. Well, that was certainly weird, he thought, even though Kyle is his best friend. And he hadn't heard from him in 2 weeks. He didn't know it. He didn't do what he asked for him. He didn't think that a simple gaming disc would do anything bad to him at all. After all, it's just a game, right? Boy, was he wrong. Anyways, he looked at the disc, and it looked like any ordinary computer CDR disc, except it had black marker on it written Sonic.exe. It was much unlike Kyle's handwriting, meaning that it must have gotten it from somewhere else, like a pawn shop or eBay or something. When he saw Sonic on the writing of the CD, he was actually excited and wanted to play it, since this guy, like me, was such a huge Sonic fan. He went up to his room and he turned on the computer to put in the disc and installed it. When the title screen popped up, he noticed that it was the first Sonic game. Awesome, he exclaimed. Because like he said earlier, he liked the classics just like me. The first thing he noticed that was out of place when he pressed start. God damn it! There was a split second when he saw the title image turn into something much different, something that he now considered horrifying, before cutting to black. He remembered what the image looked like in that split second before the game cut to black. The sky had darkened, the title emblem was rusted and ruined. The Sega 1991 was now instead Sega 666. And the water had turned red, like blood, except it looked hyper-realistic. Now, if it was a split second, honestly, I don't know how we could see the Sega encryption unless he was directly looking at it, but I guess so. Sorry, I just like pointing holes in everybody's stories. The freakiest thing that was in the split-second frame was Sonic. His eyes were pitch black and bleeding with two glowing red dots staring right at him. And his smile had stretched wider up the edge of his face. He was rather disturbed about the image when he saw it, though he figured that it was just a glitch and forgot about it. After it cut to black, it stayed like that for about 10 seconds or so, and then another weird thing happened. The save game select from Sonic the Hedgehog 3 popped up, and he was all like, "What the fuck? What's this doing in the first Sonic game, anyways?" Then he noticed something off. The background was dark, cloudy sky, and the bad Stardust Speedway level. Sonic CD. Like it, sorry. And there were only 3 save files. The music was that creepy Caverns of Winter music from your Earthbound. Only it was extended, seeing that it had been put in reverse, and the image of the save file where you see a preview of the level through just a red static of all 3 files. What freaked him out more was the character select. It only showed Tails, Knuckles, and to surprise, Dr. Robotnik. Now he was sure something was up. I mean, how could you play as Robotnik in a classic Sonic game, for crying out loud? That's when he realized that this wasn't a glitchy game. It was a hacked game. Yep, definitely looked hacked. Really creepy. But as a smart gamer, he wasn't scared, or at least he tried not to be. He told himself that it was just a hacked game. There was nothing wrong with that. Anyway, shaking out the creeped out feelings, he picked file 1 and chose Tails, and when he selected and got started, the game froze for about 5 seconds. He heard a creepy pixelated laugh that sounded awful. A lot like the Kefka guy from Final Fantasy F Cutting to Black. God, I hated Kefka. I hated Kefka so much. He suddenly saw something, and he stopped to see what it was. It was one of the small animals lying dead on the ground, bleeding. Oh gee, this sounds kind of familiar. How about Yellow Devil? That was when the music started to slow down. Tails had a shocked and saddened look on his face that I never saw him have before. So I had him move along, and he kept that worried look on his face. As he kept moving, he saw more dead animals as Tails moved past him, looking more and more worried as music lowers. A squirrel was hanged on a tree with what appeared to be his entrails hanging out. A bunny had all 4 of his limbs torn off. A duck had his eyes gouged out and his throat slit. He felt sick to his stomach when he saw the massacre that apparently so did Tails. After a few more seconds, there were no more animals, and the music seemed to have stopped. He still kept Tails to continue. After a minute passed, the music stopped, and after the music stopped, Tails was running up a hill, and then he stopped. It wasn't until he saw Sonic was there on the other side of the screen, with his back against Tails, with eyes closed. Tails looking happy to see Sonic, but then his smile faltered. It looks like flattened, but it's not. Obviously noticing that Sonic wasn't responding to him, if not acting as if he was totally oblivious of Tails' presence. Tails walked slowly towards Sonic and noticed that he wasn't even moving. His keyboard to make him move didn't work, so this had to be a cutscene. Suddenly he began to have a growing feeling of dread as Tails walked closer to Sonic to get his attention. He felt that Tails was in danger. Something bad was going to happen. He heard a faint static growing louder and louder as Tails was but inches away from Sonic and stopped and stuck his hand out to touch him. That forbidding feeling in his gut was growing stronger, and he felt the urge to tell Tails to get away from Sonic, and the static grew louder. It's actually kind of creeping me out. Suddenly, in a split second, he saw Sonic's eyes open, and they were black with those red glowing dots, just like that title image, though there wasn't a smile. When that happened, the scene turned black, and the static sound was off. It stayed black for about 7 seconds when text appeared saying, "Hello, do you want to play with me?" At this point, he was straight up creeped out as much as I am, looking over my shoulder and shit. He was taken to a different level title now saying hide and seek. This time he was on Angel Island from Sonic 3, and it looked like everything was on fire. Tails looked as though he was scared and out of wits this time. He actually looked at him and made frantic gestures, as if he wanted to get out of the area he was in as fast as possible. He was starting to get freaked out by this. He means Tails, of course, was actually breaking the 4th wall, trying to tell him to get out of there. So you pressed down the arrow key as hard as you could to make him run as fast as you could, a pixelated version of that creepy scene when you meet Shadow with the arc from Robotnik from SA2 was playing as he made Tails trek through this desolated forest, a forest that was burning like hell, trying to help him escape from whatever he was trying to run from. Suddenly, he heard that creepy laugh again, that awful Kefka laugh. You son of a bitch. Right after 10 seconds had passed, as he helped Tails run through the forest, and then he started seeing flashes of Sonic popping up everywhere on the screen, again with those black and red eyes. The music changed to that suspenseful drowning jungle. It seemed Sonic behind Tails, slowly gaining up on him. Sonic wasn't running, he was actually flying. Flying pose the sprite was making him look very similar to Metal Sonic's flying pose in Sonic CD, except it was just Sonic, and he had those black red eyes again. Only this time, he had a more deranged looking grin on his face. It looked as though he was enjoying the torment. He was giving the poor little fox as he gained on him. Suddenly, when Tails tripped, another cutscene, the music stopped and Sonic vanished. Tails laid there and started crying for 15 seconds. The scene was rather upsetting to watch, and he kind of teared up himself, but then Sonic appeared right in front of Tails. Tails looked up in horror. Why is he counting all of these seconds? Blood started to come down from the blackened eyes of Sonic as a grin slowly grew from his face, and he looked down at the horrified fox. He could do nothing but watch. Just in a split second, Sonic lunged at Tails right before the screen went black. There was a loud screeching noise that only lasted 5 seconds. The text returned, only this time it said, "You're too slow, want to try again?" And then the god-awful shock happened. That's basically where it ends. Well, it doesn't end there. You can go through the other two characters, and basically the same thing happens. They die, yeah. And what happens when they die, quote unquote, I guess. Basically, you can't play as them anymore. They have like blood red eyes, they're dripping blood. Looks like Sonic killed them for sure. There's no telling about that. And can't play as them anymore. Apparently they're dead or something. The screen's all staticky over their character. Happens 3 more times. Comes up with a really creepy thing. I am God, Sonic face sort of thing. I'd never, ever wanted to play that game. I'd never play that game. Ever. But hey, you want to play it? Link's in the description, I guess. No, it's not. I'm not going to look for that. I'm already creeped out as it is. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember to comment and comment for any suggestions, like for show me some love, and subscribe if you want to watch more.